Hello, good morning. I Sorry for getting on here so late. Chaotic weather. Gotta love it. November and tornadoes in Oklahoma. Before I start, I would like to tell Natasha that I do apologize for commenting in her chat about the warning. I just happened to be watching, and all of a sudden these sirens started going off. So my immediate reaction, sorry, was kind of, yeah, I wasn't thinking, and I know it was supposed to be positive, so I do apologize for that. But we are safe. We did make it. I know over by my parents' house, they got hit. A few miles down the street was hit. So it was a very active evening. So with that out of the way, yeah. Last night I stayed up just about all night and I wrote some things out that I wanted to read. Um, it is 27 pages worth of stuff. It seems like a lot, but I don't think it is once I start reading it. It's just some things maybe to inform people or, just maybe help people. One of them is on cyberbullying because, yeah, I just think that does need to be discussed. Um, yeah. And it's if I can read my writing, so you would have to bear with me. Anyway, it says cyberbullying involves anyone who is targeted maliciously through any form of electronic access. Cyberbullies are simply cowards because they I have to read my writing, sorry, get to hide behind their hurtful words and anonymous usernames. You think your high school days were behind you, along with all the immaturity and hurtful teasing. Unfortunately, the World Wide Web has a way to take bullying to the next level. The following steps will give you some, I can't read my own writing, give you some tools. Okay, that's what it says. Tools in fighting against the faceless form of bullying. Cyberbullying involves posting pictures and mean comments, spreading rumors or lies, and humiliating or attacking someone without their consent. If you want to stop this malicious behavior in its tracks, don't forward hateful emails or content to others. Forwarding this type of information will feed into it and even implicate you as a cyberbully. If you receive hurtful or harassing form of electronic content toward another person, whether you know the person or not, reply to them and let them know cyberbullying is hurtful. Explain to them that the person being attacked could easily be a close friend or a family member, and that you're pretty sure that their loved ones wouldn't want to be outraged. Not to mention that the person being attacked, some say it's best not to respond to bullies since that's exactly what they want. This may be true. However, if you respond only once to everyone receiving the email from the cyberbully, reminding them they are causing more harm by forwarding the hurtful email on, it might send a strong message. Block, report, and flag any and all content by a cyberbully. This sends a strong statement that you won't condone this type of internet behavior, nor sorry you guys. Can your sense of right and wrong be penetrated by feeding into it for the sake of a good laugh? Adults are just as well as vulnerable as teenagers when it comes to cyberbullying. They too will second guess themselves. Turn the page. And assume they are a joke. No one is immune to the effects of cyberbullying, not even adults. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you may be able to click on the cyberbully's username and find a link to some of their information. This information may include their website and even place of work. If a cyberbully feels they have a right to victimize and humiliate, a perfectly good stranger, I don't see why that perfectly good stranger can't write a letter to the cyberbully's workplace or let them know the type of person they have employed at their business. By informing them of their cruel cyberbully activities, letting their place of work know they will be losing future business until the employee in question no longer is a part of their establishment might send a message. When you deal with cyberbullying, you need to look at it at a deeper root of the issue and realize that the bullies are simply trying to get a rise out of you. Don't let them have control by overtaking. Instead, find a way to fight back in a calm and focused manner. There are great online resources you can go to find helpful information in dealing with cyberbullying, such as the National Prevention Council, finding or even creating support groups of people who experience cyberbullying can be a good outlet, not to mention positive way to brainstorm ideas to prevent cyberbullying and promote these ideas. Pressure your government by writing your congressman to put protective measures towards victims of cyberbullying. Suggest ideas that will enforce accountability to those who threaten or harass others online. Cyberbullies rarely think of consequences of their actions. Often they will assume there aren't any consequences due to their I hate this word, anonymity of the internet. Little do they know there are ways to fight and bring them down, whether it be through filing a complaint through the website or blocking their obstructive actions through email. There are ways to make their bullying much more difficult. Remember, stay strong and stand up to the cyberbullying cowards of the internet. And that's what I have about cyberbullying. Now, the other one I wrote was about, you know, I might skip this one for now. I don't know. It kind of pertains to all the drama on YouTube, like everything going on. Have I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. Okay, this is about what a online flame war is. Online forums are chaotic places where sensible debate can quickly turn into digital mudslinging, with an anonymity and distance as protection. All too often, people are willing to rush into flame war. The object of a flame war is to attack someone with insults and wit where physical confrontation is impossible. There's an old saying on the internet, the only way to win a flame war is to never enter one. Flame wars serve no purpose, but sometimes you cannot resist entering the fury. Walk in prepared, and victory will be assured. Now, remember, this is something that I was reading last night, and I'm like, huh. Insult your opponent. The winner of a flame war is determined by observers. The other people in your forum, your goal is to play to the crowd. Flame wars begin when egos collide and one side starts hurling insults at the other. Your opening salvos should be general insults about personal taste and intelligence. Such insults are easily to shrug off, but it's to let your opponent and other forum participants know that you are prepared for battle. Stay on topic. Even if your opponent trails off from the subject, never let them forget the difference between trash talking and flame war is purpose. Remember what originally started the war and stand your ground. Shooting off into tangents whatever, I can't say that word. Signifies, there we go. Sorry about that. A loss of control, and the crowd will assume that you are confused. Staying on topic also keeps moderators at bay, who are likely to look a threat if it spins out of control. Pay attention to everything your opponent posts. Leaving challenges unanswered is a sign of weakness, and repeating insults is likened to admitting defeat. While flame wars are soon forgotten, the crowd tends to remember old tactics and phrases. Copying someone else is a sure way of losing favor. If you find yourself completely lost, read over the thread and post again when you have a handle on the situation. Reply in complete sentences and double check your spelling. I hate my writing. Stiff writing bores the crowd and gives your opponent a target to attack, but you must always be coherent. Forums are littered with run-on sentences, fragments, and spelling I can't read my writing. Something to mashing the keyboard. Do not add to the mess. The crowd appreciates clarity, and tight writing exhibits intelligence and emotional control. If you do make a mistake, your opponent will be quick to point it out. Do not be discouraged or reply to the correction. The crowd will recognize the cheap shot and punish your opponent for defeating from that point. However, frequent lapses in writing ability will not impress the crowd. Allow the crowd to finish off your opponent. Flame wars are not decided by the participants. When you notice the entire thread turning on your opponent, it is time to step back and allow them to drive your opponent. Pressing your advantage too forcefully could just easily turn the crowd against you as well, resulting in a non-contest at best. If your opponent admits defeat, accept and move on. Seize victory when it is presented. Okay. Next thing I have is 10 steps toward a drama-free life. Avoid giving unsolicited advice. I'm sure you know the way to fix everyone's problems. You could single-handedly solve world hunger, bridge the income gap, and enact world peace. Sorry, you guys. The reality is you have no idea what you're talking about, and even if you do, nobody's interested unless they're directly asking you. Keep your advice to yourself, and you'll avoid a lot of unnecessary drama. Know your limits. People have a tendency to overcommit themselves. When you have too many commitments, you can't focus everything you should on all of them. Things fall by the wayside and you become a flake, no matter how hard you try. If you keep falling short of people's expectations, they'll end up against you, and you'll find yourself surrounded by drama. Mind your business. It's okay to socialize with people, but keep your nose out of other people's business. If the treatment or whistleblowers like Edward Snowden or Chelsea Manning have taught us anything, it's people get over dramatic when their secrets are leaked. Avoid drama by minding your own business. Speak honestly. Lies are annoying. They fill your mind with all this extra gibberish. When you lie to people, you create your own unnecessary drama that could have easily been avoided. It's a conscious choice you're making to lie, and the lies will unravel sooner or later. Avoid the drama and covering the truth, and the drama when it's revealed you lied speaking honestly. Focus on yourself. If you focus on getting ahead in your goals, you won't even notice the drama. You'll be so zoned in your own future, all the side drama just fades into the background. It becomes as important to you as the suffering of all those starving children in Africa and abused pets Sarah McLaughlin sang about. Learn to say no. People will ask a lot of questions. If you're asked if you know something, deny it. Don't try to say it in any way they know you know, but can't say, so feel important or special. Just deny it. Don't get involved. It's that simple. And if someone you don't want to talk to texts you with drama, don't respond. They'll get bored with it sooner or later. Stop gossip. Sorry, I need a little drink here. Okay. Stop gossip. I'm no gossip, but I heard Sandy tell John she overheard Bill and Katie talking about how Frank is. Gossip is a two-way street. It's all well and good. Tell everyone about how, ooh, I screwed that writing up, didn't I? I think I wrote it dyslexic. Hold on. Oh, it's all well and good to tell everyone about, no, I just can't read. About how someone else gossips, but that makes you a gossip. The listener is a gossip too. You don't get to protect your downfalls on others to advise yourself from responsibility. Oh, no, excuse me, to absolve yourself from responsibility. Smile. When you smile, you become the center of the room. You end up in the driver's seat. If people come to you with drama, you can steer the conversation elsewhere. They'll follow you because you seem more confident. If they don't, you can confidently ignore them and walk away. No more drama. Be compassionate. A lot of the so-called drama in life is really due to the way you're reacting. People have problems and sometimes they need to vent. Everyone vents, and you can be compassionate to all of them. It's possible to listen to people's problems as a courtesy, but you don't have to truly listen if you don't want to. But at the very least, give the impression that you are. It's a temporary solution, and if it's that uncomfortable to you, you can avoid it next time. Mediate. Life will always have drama. It's unavoidable. Instead of letting it get to you, mediate. You'll never find the fairy tale happy ever after life where everything is easy. The richest and poorest, youngest and oldest, biggest and smallest of us have problems. The grass on both sides of the fence needs constant watering, weeding, and mowing. So suck it up. And that's what I wrote in that little section. And I have one more somewhere. Dig through all this. Okay. This one is 8 Keys to Forgiveness. Number 1. Know what forgiveness is and why it matters. Forgiveness is about goodness, about extending mercy to those who have harmed us, even if they don't deserve it. It is not about finding excuses for the offending person's behavior or pretending it didn't happen. Nor is there a quick formula you can follow. Forgiveness is a process with many steps that after proceeds in a non-linear fashion. But it's well worth the effort. Working on forgiveness can help us increase our self-esteem and give us a sense of inner strength and safety. It can reverse the lies that we often tell ourselves when someone has hurt us deeply. Lies. I am defeated and I am not worthy. Forgiveness can heal us and allow us to move on in life with meaning and purpose. Forgiveness matters and will be its primary beneficiary. Studies have shown that forgiving others produces strong psychologist benefits for the one who forgives. It has been shown to decrease depression, anxiety, unhealthy anger, and the symptoms of PTSD. But we don't just forgive to help ourselves. Forgiveness can lead to psychological healing. Yes, but in its essence, it is not something about you or done to you. It is something you extend toward another person because you recognize over time that it is in the best response to the situation. Number 2, becoming forgivingly fit. To practice forgiveness, it helps if you have worked on positively changing your I have no idea what that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can read it now. Probably need my glasses on. Sorry about that, guys. Changing your changing your inner world by learning to be forgivingly fit. Just as you would start slowly with a new physical exercise routine, it helps if you build up your forgiving heart muscles slowly. Incorporating regular workouts into your everyday life, you start to become more fit by making a commitment to do no harm. In other words, making a conscious effort not to task despairingly about those who have hurt you. You don't have to say good things, but if you refrain from talking negatively, it will feed the more forgiving side of your mind and heart. You can also make a practice of recognizing that every person is unique, special, and irreplaceable. You may you may come to this through religious beliefs or on a humanist philosophy. or even through your belief in evolution. It's important to cultivate this mindset of valuing our common humanity so that it becomes harder to distance someone who has harmed you as unworthy. You can show love in small ways in everyday encounters like smiling at a hurried grocery cashier or taking time to listen to a child. Giving love when it's unnecessary. Wait, oh yeah. Giving love when it's necessary helps to build the love muscle, making it easier to show compassion towards everyone. If you practice small acts of forgiveness and mercy, extending care when someone harms you in everyday life, this too will help. Perhaps you can refrain from honking when someone cuts you off in traffic, or hold your tongue when someone snaps at you and extend a hug instead. Sometimes pride and power can weaken your efforts of forgiveness by making you feel entitled or inflated so that you hang on to your resentment as a noble cause. Try to catch yourself when you are acting from that from the peace and choose forgiveness as mercy instead. Oh, from the place and choose mercy. My L wasn't tall enough. Sorry. Number 3, address your inner pain. It is important to figure out who hurt you and how. Sorry, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm not used to reading a lot. This may seem obvious, but not every action that causes you suffering is unjust. For example, you don't need to forgive someone by being imperfect, even if their imperfections are incorrect for you. To be clear, you can look carefully at the people in your life and rate how much they have hurt you. Perhaps they have exercised power over you or withheld love, or maybe they have physically harmed you. These hurts have contributed to inner pain and need to be acknowledged. Doing this will give you an idea of who needs forgiveness in your life and who provides a place of who needs forgiveness in your life and it provides a place to start. There are many forms of emotional pain, but the common forms are anxiety, depression, unhealthy anger, lack of trust, self loathing, or low self esteem. An, over, an overall negative worldview and a lack of confidence is one's ability to change. All of these harms can be addressed by forgiveness. It's so important to identify the kind of pain you are suffering from and to acknowledge it. The more hurt you have endured, the more important it is to forgive, at least for the purpose of experiencing emotional healing. Develop a forgiving mind through empathy. Scientists have studied what happens in the brain when we think about forgiving and have discovered. Hold on, guys. Let me put my glasses on. Discovered that when successfully imagine forgiveness in a hypothetical situation, they show increased activity in the neural circuits responsible for empathy. This tells, I cannot read my writing. This tells too empathy is connected to forgiveness and is an important step in the process. If you can examine some of the details in the life of the person who harmed you, you can often see more clearly what wounds they carry and start to develop empathy for them. First, try to imagine them as an innocent child needing love and support. Did they get that from their parents? Research has shown that if an infant does not receive attention and love from primary caregivers. Sorry. Then they will have a weak attachment, which can damage trust. It may prevent them from even getting close to others and set a territory of loneliness and conflict for the rest of their life. You may be able to put an entire narrative together for the person who hurt you, from an early childhood through adulthood, or just imagine it from what you know. You may be able to see their physical frailties and psychological suffering and begin to understand the common humanity that you share. You may realize them as a vulnerable person who is wounded and wounded, who has wounded and wounded you in return, despite why they may have done that to hurt you. You realize that they did not deserve to suffer either. Recognizing we all carry wounds in our hearts can help open the door to forgiveness. Find meaning in your suffering. When we all suffer a great deal, it is important that we find meaning in what we have endured. Without seeing meaning, a person can lose a sense of purpose, which can lead to hopelessness and a dis- what's that say? Yeah, despairing conclusion that there is no meaning to life itself. That doesn't mean we look for suffering in order to grow or to find goodness in another's bad actions. Instead, we try to see how our suffering has changed in a positive way. Even as one suffers, it is possible to develop short term and sometimes long term range goals in life. Some people begin to think about how they can use their suffering to cope because they've become more resilient or brave. They may also realize that their suffering has altered their perspective regarding what is important in life, changing their long range goals for themselves. To find meaning is not to diminish your pain or to say, I'll just make the best of it, or all things happen for a reason. You must always take care to address the woundedness in yourself and to realize the injustice of the experience, or forgiveness will be shallow. Still, there are many ways to find meaning in our suffering. Some may choose to focus more on the beauty of the world or decide to give service to others in need. Some may find meaning by speaking their truth or by strengthening their inner resolve. If I were to give one answer, it would be that we should use our suffering to become more loving and to pass that love on to others. Finding meaning in and of itself is helpful, for finding direction is forgiveness. When forgiveness is hard, call upon other strengths. Forgiveness is always hard when we are dealing with deep injustices from others. Some refuse to use the word forgiveness because it makes them that angry. That's okay. We all have our own timelines for when we can be merciful. First, remember that if you are struggling with forgiveness, that doesn't mean you are a failure at forgiveness. Forgiveness is a process that takes time, patience, and determination. Try not to be hard on yourself, but be gentle and foster a sense of quiet within and inner acceptance of yourself. Try to respond to yourself as you would to someone whom you deeply love. Surround yourself with good and use people who support you and who have the patience to allow you time to heal in your own way. Always practice humility, not in the same sense of putting yourself down, but in realizing that we are all capable of imperfection and suffering. Try try to develop courage and patience in yourself to help you in your journey. Also, if you participate I don't know what that word says. If you participate, I think it's bearing. Yeah, bearing small slights against you without lashing out. You give a gift to everyone, not only to other person, but to everyone whom that person may harm in the future because of your anger. You can help end the cycle of inflicting pain on others. Alternately, it can be better to focus on forgiving the person who is at the root of your pain. Forgive yourself. Most of us tend to be harder on ourselves than we are on others, and we struggle to love ourselves. If you are not feeling lovable because of actions you've taken, you may need to work on your self forgiveness and offer yourself what you offer to others who have hurt you, a sense of inner worth despite your actions. In self forgiveness, you honor yourself as a person, even if you're imperfect. If you're broken, your personal standards in a serious way. There's a danger of sliding into self loathing. When this happens, you may not take good care of yourself. You might overeat or oversleep, start smoking, or engage in other forms of self punishment. You need to recognize this and move towards self compassion. Soften your heart toward yourself after you have been able to self forgive. You will also need to engage in seeking forgiveness from others whom you've harmed and right the wrongs as best as you can. It's important to be prepared for the possibility that the other person may not be ready to forgive. You may not be ready to forgive you and to practice patience and humility. But a silent, but a sincere apology, free of conditions and expectations, will go a long way toward you receiving forgiveness in the end. Develop a loving heart. When we overcome suffering, we gain a mature understanding of what it means to be humble, courageous, and loving in the world. We may be moved to create an atmosphere of forgiveness in our homes, workplaces, or even the internet to help others who've been harmed overcome their suffering or to protect our communities from a cycle of hatred and violence. All of these choices can lighten the heart and bring joy to one's life. Some people may believe that love is from another who's harmed. Wait, hold on, back up. Some people believe that love for another who's harmed you is not possible. Okay, sorry. But I find that many people who forgive eventually find a way to open their hearts. If you shed bitterness and put love in its place, and then repeat this with many, many other people, you become free to love more widely and deeply. This kind of transformation create a legacy of love that will live on long after you are gone. And I think that is everything I had to read. I don't know if that's helpful or anything for anybody. I hope it is. It is almost 1 o'clock here. That felt like an essay. I know that much. 27 pages is a lot. Sorry my reading was poor. I really do apologize. I probably should have proofread it a few times, but I didn't. But hey, we made it through. I think I'm going to stay on for, let's see, it's 12:49. I'll stay on for 10 more minutes, see if anybody hops on. I do hope someone finds that helpful, or maybe they needed to hear. I don't know. It's so quiet now compared to earlier. Wonder if anybody's fallen asleep live before. And yes, I am a night owl. trying to see if I can find a video. I really need to go through and delete a lot of things. If you're just tuning in, I read like a bunch of things that I wrote earlier or last night. It was like things on like cyberbullying, internet flame wars, um, what was the other ones? Forgiveness and that's sad, I can't remember. Oh, and having a drama-free life. That's what it was. So if you missed that, anybody can always go back and rewatch it. I do apologize for the stuttering. I don't think I've read something that long and since like high school, and that was 20 years ago. I haven't written anything that long either since then. It's probably why I couldn't read half of it. I don't know who's all watching, but it is okay to say hello if you'd like. Or not, it's up to you. Oh, that's how you add a banner. Okay. It is 1 o'clock here. So if nobody has any questions or doesn't have anything to say, I guess I am going to hop off here and go find another live to watch. So, with that being said, have a great night, morning, wherever you are. Um, be kind, stay humble, and as always, keep it real because you know I do. Have a great day. Bye.